fairly confident side as well is going to be extremely difficult for the visitors.
One thing's for sure, in this stadium, Guatemala, very difficult to beat. We mentioned the record before. Pescadito Ruiz, maybe his last chance to get to a World Cup. Remember, Guatemala have never qualified for what I call the Great Tournament. And they went out at this stage back in 2014 in the 2014 process for Brazil. So they're looking to make it to the hexagonal and really try and make some history. So it should be an interesting game between two teams in the same group as the United States. You would expect that they're going to be fighting for second place, but we'll see as the process continues.
Again, this is Group C. Two of the four nations in this fourth round in qualifying in CONCACAF. We'll tell you when time allows how Guatemala got to this point. Trinidad and Tobago were given a bye, so this is really their debut in qualification. Quick shot taken that time by the home side, picked up with no problem by the goalkeeper, Jan Michael Williams. Already it's like Pescadito down with a knock, and that's going to be interesting to watch. Abu Bakr against the captain, Carlos Ruiz. George with his crafty sense of drawing fouls.
Absolutely. He is a master. He's Guatemala's all-time goal scorer, and he has a great knack of getting a touch on the ball, putting himself between the ball and the defenders in order to pick up fouls, in order to regain possession for Guatemala. Trinidad will have to be, the defenders specifically have to be very intelligent because, as you mentioned, Pescadito Ruiz, with all his experience, is very, very crafty.
Incredible career in qualifying for Ruiz for his home nation. 30 goals in 37 World Cup qualifying matches. That is remarkable, really, that kind of percentage. And they'll be counting on him once again tonight.
Former MLS MVP from his days with the LA Galaxy, MLS Cup champion as well. This is icon in MLS football as well, and he's still going strong at 36 years old for Guatemala.
Picked up by TNT, driven long. And you can hear the response from the crowd. The stadium holds about 30,000. And we should mention also the manager of this Guatemalan side, Ivan Franco Sopeño, Argentine from Rosario Central, that neighborhood, taking over the managerial duties back in May 2014 for Guatemala. He led Comunicaciones, one of the two big clubs in the country in their Premier Division, to 5 titles. No one had ever done that before. So he comes in with quite a reputation, and certainly looking to get off to a great start in this fourth round of qualification.
And obviously knows the first division in Guatemalan football very well. He has a great pedigree when you consider Rosario. It really is the cradle of talent in Argentine football.
Looking for Moises Hernandez. Locked in on 2 bounces. Once again back to Williams, his 67th cap. Michael Williams. And, well, again, the referee, so important, so critical in these qualifying matches. And Ruiz in a discussion with Matthew Bordeaux.
He has to be very careful. This referee has to get control of the situation very early. Cannot allow Pescadito Ruiz to dictate what he is thinking, the decisions. It's going to be tough. Obviously, Pescadito Ruiz is going to have that confidence because he is at home.
There's the craftiness we were mentioning. This he will do whatever he can do, arguably bending the rules or breaking them to get that advantage. And that's not necessarily a critique. That's really, for the most part, an admirable thing. He's just a very competitive player, Carlos Ruiz.
He goes at 2 players to watch for in this game. Obviously, Pescadito Ruiz, we talked about him, but also Marco Papa of Seattle.
Heavy contact there, and Papa and Hernandez are once again involved. Just underway for the Mateo Flores. Not intended for Moises Hernandez. One of a number of players on this Guatemalan side playing in Major League Soccer, some for Trinidad and Tobago. Well, Hernandez, he plays for FC Dallas. We're in that Western Championship final in the league play. He was actually born in Dallas, Hernandez. His 11th cap for Guatemala. Throw in for Trinidad and Tobago taken by Daniel Cyrus, another MLS player, Chicago Fire, for the young defender Cyrus, wearing number 5. It's a good look at Kenwin Jones.
And it's going to be important for Trinidad when they do get the ball in that final third to look for Kenwin Jones. You already seen on that throw, and he's got his back toward goal. He's going to use his big body to get possession.
On the bounce. Looks like dangerous play, so free kick for Guatemala.
A big number 6 for Trinidad there, using his body. It appears that that could be an advantage for Trinidad in this match. Big bodies. So Kenwin Jones. There's Radanfa Abu Bakr as well, using his size with his back toward goal. Just dangerous play with the high boot there. Great call by the referee, but that's something that Trinidad, when they get the ball in their final third, could use to their advantage.
Played forward again. Looking for Tinoco, Jerson Tinoco that time, but straight back to Williams.
Tinoco, one of the important big-time goal scorers in the Guatemalan League, First Division. He's a player that's going to score a lot of goals, and Sapuño knows him well, so going to use him to pair up with Carlos Ruiz, try to create some dangerous opportunities going forward.
Ruiz playing it forward against Guatemala, the home side in their traditional blue with the white trim, the white sash, and Trinidad and Tobago in the red, the black shorts, attacking left to right in this first half of play.
Have to say those kids for Guatemala are pretty smooth, pretty clean. Could use those more often, especially at home.
Hamilton Lopez with possession, one of the number of players for Municipal, one of the large clubs in Guatemala, to Dennis Lopez. Now back to Elias Vasquez, plays for Real Salt Lake in Major League Soccer. Good first touch by Ruiz. Left side to Hernandez. Contreras. Kind of kneed down that time by Mikael Williams. He's interesting story there. Mikael Williams plays for Antigua, the first division club in Guatemala. So there was a lot of discussion between his club mates about this match, obviously.
And maybe they could give some insight on some tactics on some of the players' weaknesses heading into this game.
Back to Abu Bakr, played forward.
And one thing seen so far, just early on, especially with Guatemala, we saw Contreras try that long ball down the right side. It appears that Ruiz is going to try to drop back in the midfield and try to build the attack that way. Don't know if that's the best idea. You want Pescadito Ruiz around the penalty area. That's where Contreras and Marco Papa, they really have to link up better in the middle of the park, that middle channel, if you will.
8th minute of play.
And long ball strategy by Guatemala is not going to work too well against a Trinidad side that has a size advantage, but also has a pace and speed advantage as well. So Guatemala might want to make a change and keep the ball on the ground, try to hold on to much more possession, be more patient, build up the attack, and then look for Tinoco or Ruiz in the area.
Nodded straight up by the veteran Freddie Thompson. And a battle that time ensuing, and then that's Kaleem Highland for Trinidad and Tobago, helping get possession to Mikael Williams. On the turn, Chincota. Sheldon Pateau, the veteran, plays it back to his keeper. Over to Cyrus. Long-legged young player. Impressive in his number of appearances for Chicago.
A good job there by Contreras, testing to see how well the back line of Trinidad, how well they hold on to the ball, how well they can dribble and pass the ball, their composure on the ball. Might want to press that back line a little bit, maybe create an opportunity. See if that continues on as the match progresses. But that's early on we're seeing that, and that could work in Guatemala's favor. The turnover right there. The back line of Trinidad is still doesn't quite have that composure yet. Maybe as the game progresses they'll get it, but so far in these first 10 minutes or so, we've seen that back line is a little bit shaky when those defenders have the ball at their feet.
Well, Hernandez leaves that for Dennis Lopez. 13th cap for Dennis Lopez. Some contact there from behind. This will be a free kick, and you can tell Lester Pelletier is appealing for the dive, but he loses that argument.
I think it'll be better for the Trinidad players. Don't go for too many. Just try to keep the players, Tinoco on the line. Just keep them in front of you, and then use the scheme, the defense, the tactics.
Papa leaves it for Contreras. Contreras on the far side. Good contact on the header. Not enough power. And maybe he had a teammate, but not at square two. But again, there's the pressure. Contreras again for Guatemala. Good effort to try to play it to himself by Tinoco.
Nice.
Marco Papa, another MLS veteran out there for Los Chapins.
It's that back line right now, Trinidad. They don't look very composed right now.
And the long ball down. It's a great opportunity. It's off the leg of the goalkeeper. This will be the first corner. But that, again, came out of nothing. And as you mentioned, George, problems for Trinidad and Tobago trying to play out of the back and clear it. It comes off a play here. The challenge was Abu Bakr for Trinidad and Tobago. And the ensuing shot was saved, and here's the corner. Papa in front. Dangerous ball. Knocked away. Good pressure by Guatemala now. Fired back in, blocked free, cleared by Bateau.
There's no way that Trinidad should be losing the aerial duel to Guatemala. When you see this opportunity here, Carlos Ruiz, it appears he has about 5 or 6 inches less on Abu Bakr, and yet he is able to win that ball in the air, and Tinoco unable to finish it. It's a great save by Williams, but Trinidad's marking so far, especially in set pieces and with the ball in the air, has not been very good. It's not disciplined at all. They have to work on that. There's no way Guatemala, who it appears man for man is a little shorter, or maybe a head shorter than some of the Trinidad players, especially in that back line. They should not be losing the aerial battles, Trinidad. They have to do better on set piece defending.
Played away by Cyrus. Free kick for Guatemala. Well, Stephen Hart spoke before this match about the 12th man, that being, of course, the Guatemalan fans. 30,000 packed into the stadium, knowing how important that would be and knowing how difficult it is to go and prepare in enemy territory as it would be. And right now they are under quite a bit of pressure. The last 3 to 4 minutes of this first half of play.
Could be that home crowd energy giving them an extra 5 or 6 inches on their vertical leap, because so far in the air it's been Guatemala who've been winning the challenges.
Strong challenge that time from Dennis Lopez. Picked up in the midfield. Played on that left side. Miguel Williams. One time down, but not controlled, and now played back to the goalkeeper, Paulo Mota. 15th cap for Mota. Again, playing for Municipal. There's the replay.
Yep, that was a great chance there for Dennis Lopez. Kind of a glancing header. Didn't quite get enough of a touch on it. Didn't quite get enough of his head on it to really cause Williams problems. Maybe at a better angle if he gets more of a touch on it, more power into it. It's a better angle and they score. But still, the fact that he was unmarked and able just to get a header onto it shows that Trinidad's marking was poor in that particular situation.
Pop-up plays it back to Dennis Lopez. Bit of space for him. That time again having a hard time was Lester Pelletier. for Trinidad and Tobago.
And it looks like down this left side of the Guatemalan attack, the right side of the Trinidadian defense, it has been in favor of Guatemala. It appears that Guatemala might be trying to exploit Daniel Cyrus down the right side of the Trinidadian attack. So let's see if they continue to go that route, because there have been some shaky moments back there. Moises Hernandez able to go through. Tinoco has been able to influence some things down the left side of that Guatemalan attack. So might have to shore things up there, be a little more composed on the right side of the Trinidad defense.
Nodded out of play by the veteran Freddie Thompson. Daniel Cyrus has had most of the throw-ins for Trinidad and Tobago, most of the play on the near touchline. Plays it back to Highland.
This is what Trinidad need to do here. Settle the game, hold on to the possession, build up some passes here. They have some space run into it, but for the most part, keep the ball in their own possession.
Kenwin Jones that time trying the no-look pass and the follow-through, but that was read out, snuffed out quite easily by Guatemala. Dennis Lopez, the victim there of the contact.
And Kenwin Jones knows better. He's got to be a little more patient in that respect. I think he saw his teammate making that diagonal run. He tried to get him with the back heel. It would have been better served. Maybe a couple more players making the run, but better served to hold it up, wait for his teammates to get further penetration into their attacking third.
Picked up by Ruiz. Again, not cleared by Trinidad and Tobago there, at least. Running through, skipping across. The shot is wide, but once again, Guatemala with the pressure and winning possession back and forcing problems for that Trinidad and Tobago defense.
Oh, the connection between Papa and Carlos Ruiz was excellent. Trinidad defense very undisciplined, kind of collapsing everyone on Ruiz. That allowed Tinoco to have some space. That's the second opportunity Tinoco's had very early in this match to put a goal away. He hasn't been able to do it. He's got to improve his finishing there, be a little more composed. But so far, if you're talking about Guatemala and their link-up play in their final third, it's looking pretty good.
Look at some of the reserves for the La Azul y Blanco, the blue and white, Guatemala. Been close to the qualifying for the World Cup finals before. Didn't miss out by much in 2006, and once again they've got possession in the attacking third. Moises Hernandez doing well to keep possession. Hamilton Lopez. Contreras.
The more Contreras gets the ball, the more organized the attack is for Guatemala.
Just a little bit awry that time, trying to play it to himself, and picked up by Beto. Brought down by Bucar. Good run here if he can get to it. He will get to it, but the defender's there, and it's perfectly timed once again by Dennis Lopez.
That is a brilliant tackle by Dennis Lopez. Got all the ball, kept it in bounds, kept possession for Guatemala. Great tackle there by Lopez.
Over to Daniel Cyrus. Strong contact once again. Peltier goes down, picked up by Guatemala. Marco Papa. It's a go. Just a little bit telegraphed after the nice work and the nice turn.
And Tinoco had made a run. Papa didn't want to get it to him because it appeared that he was off sides. But then Tinoco gets back on sides and doesn't make a run into the area for Papa to look for him again. Ruiz was marked. So it's a tough break there for Guatemala. But Tinoco gets back on side. He has to see that there wasn't a marker or defender in front of him. Keep going into that space. You jump back on side, make the run again. Wait for Papa to look for you.
Decent ball in for Jones. Defended well that time by Vasquez.
It's going to be a long night for Kenwin Jones if he's waiting for service, because Guatemala, they're doing an excellent job of that midfield, especially tracking back, just outnumbering Trinidad and their attacking players in the attacking half there, in Trinidad's attacking half, and it's very difficult to get those crosses in when you're being double marked. Kenwin Jones has been double marked so far in this game, so Guatemala have identified the danger man for Trinidad. Now it's up to the rest of the midfield to look for Kenwin Jones. He might have to come out of the box to get some touches on the ball as well.
If you're curious about the FIFA world rankings, Guatemala coming in 91 in the list, and Trinidad and Tobago 54. If you are dedicated to the opinions of the poll or the list. 21st minute of play. No score from the Mateo Flores in Guatemala City. This is Contreras. Hernandez. Being marked by Pelletier. And the hands up in the back that time by Moises Hernandez.
Well done by Pelletier. And that's that little matchup that we saw there, that little duel, that little encounter we saw there is where Trinidad will have the advantage. Hernandez tried to get past Pelletier. He couldn't do it. He didn't have the speed to do it. And then Pelletier using his strength to muscle Hernandez off the ball and then regain possession for Trinidad. That's where Trinidad have the advantage. They're bigger, stronger, and faster. They might not have the skill on the ball, but they do have, at least athletically, they have that advantage. It's up to Guatemala to use their technique and skill to counter that.
Mentioned Hernandez being born in Dallas, actually played 3 times for the U.S. under-20s. Signed by FC Dallas as a homegrown player back in 2010. But certainly seems to be having a decent match so far for Guatemala.
You know, down that left wing, he doesn't even really have to track back defensively either. So he has the freedom to move up. Nothing down the right side of the Trinidad attack has suggested that he might have to track back and defend. So he's going to have a lot of freedom down that left wing to move up and push forward. Now it's just a matter of making that right connection.
Once again with a touch in possession to Contreras this time. Great turn under pressure. He did well. Marked by Sheldon Bateau. Ruiz showing again that though he's well into his 30s, he's got the experience and the strength in the penalty area to make things happen, to get that shot away.
Yeah, you mentioned that guile, that intelligence. That's what it was on that particular play. Look, he backs down his defender. Great technique. Holds on to possession. Maybe he could have gotten it to Tinoco there, who had the marker on his back. With the quick, would have been a quick left-footed shot for Tinoco. Instead, he went for goal. But the fact that he was able to win that possession, use his intelligence, even though he was smaller than his defender, use that intelligence to keep possession and then test the goal of Trinidad.
Lopez plays it forward to Chincota. And cleared away by Mikhail Williams. And you can see Lister Pelletier, among others, with the hand gestures. Settle down. Just take it easy. Keep control. Keep possession here. Nothing crazy to give the ball back to the other side.
Yep, absolutely. Trinidad is not going to win this game with the long ball. They have to get some possession, take the crowd out of the game by holding on to the ball and then stringing together passes so that they can get Kenwin Jones in an opportune position to score goals. By kicking balls down the field, you get the ball back to Guatemala. That allows the crowd to be more energized, more excited. We've seen so far that Guatemala can create opportunities because the Trinidad backline is a bit disorganized.
Throw in from Cyrus. I mentioned Kenwin Jones at the top among the most experienced for TNT. All-time goal leader for the country, Stern John. Everybody remembers him. 70 goals and 115 appearances for the Soccer Warriors. Now picked up by Highland. And again, it's just a good idea, but not quite there. This is a pretty impressive work rate by the home side, George, putting pressure on after they lose the ball, Guatemala.
Yeah. So far, no one in the midfield for Trinidad has shown that they can hold on to the possession, hold on to the ball.
And that's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, but no one in the midfield so far for Trinidad has shown the ability to settle the pace, settle the game, hold on to possession, and pick out teammates moving without the ball. We've seen a lot of wide play for Trinidad. That's for a team that has a speed advantage. Usually that's the case. You try to get players out wide, but they haven't been able to get enough possession to utilize that. And Guatemala have been very disciplined defensively, so they're not being able, they haven't been susceptible to counterattack. So it's been a good job so far by Guatemala.
First touch evades Jones. He's playing his football for Curtis City in the championship. They're currently 7th in the table there, but he's got 20 goals for his country. Kenwin Jones, 73rd cap for him in this match tonight.
I expect that Kenwin Jones, he might get, the way it's going, especially the way Trinidad are struggling to build up the attack, he might get 1 or 2 chances in this game. It's going to be tough for him going forward. It looks like Guatemala is really forcing Trinidad to play it out wide.
Laris again. Looking for Highland. Picked up that time by Dennis Lopez.
Dennis Lopez has been excellent in the back these first 27 minutes. We saw about 5-10 minutes earlier make a clean, perfect sliding challenge to dispossess a player and then keep it in bounds. So he's been excellent so far in that back line for Guatemala.
One of those players from the 2 big clubs, plays for Municipal.
A lot of people say that they tend to criticize La Liga for being a 2-team league. Well, the Guatemala First Division is a 2-team league between Municipal and Comunicaciones, that's for sure.
You mean Chela, who is not in that conversation?
Not yet.
That's a great history. This is in the air, a dangerous situation for Guatemala, and deflected away off the shot by Jovan Jones.
And so far, that's been set pieces, just kind of balls launched into the area, and has been their most dangerous attack so far for Trinidad. We had an opportunity in the first 10 minutes, and we saw Abu Bakr try to make that overhead kick. So,
first corner of the match for TNT.
Normal jostling in the corner. You know, Pescadito Ruiz is not going to back down.
It's going to be taken by Highland. Contact actually from Ruiz that time, knocks it away, and it looks like it will be a throw. He's appealing for the deflection.
Yep, the height advantage there. Or Trinidad trying to use their height advantage. You see 3 Guatemalan players attacking the same ball. Better communication there, and that ball doesn't even get to the 6, and they can just clear it away. So Trinidad almost got lucky because of some lack of communication with the 3 Guatemalan players.
It's intercepted by Makir Williams, and then over to Cyrus, and then back to the Guatemalan defense, played by Elias Vasquez. Now on the left side. Highland. Bako, Jones. Bounced and knocked away again.
And it's the right idea by Jones. He just didn't have anyone. None of his teammates were making that run up the middle. That was a great header by Jones down the middle there to set up someone who just, boom, one-time strike, but he couldn't finish. No one was making that run to hit it. So it's a great job by Kenwyne Jones, but he had no support there at the top of the penalty area. That's where Trinidad have to be a little aggressive. You have to take your opportunities when they present themselves, and that was an excellent chance that Trinidadian player missed because Kenwyne Jones did well to head it down.
All the way back to Mota. Just slides it forward to Vasquez. 37th cap for Vasquez. Only 23 years old, a defender playing for Real Salt Lake, and then back to Dennis Lopez. Had a good shape, Guatemala, so far in this match. Picked up by Highland.
Highland has got to perform better. He really is struggling in the middle of the park there. He's missed some excellent passes. He's missed some opportunities to really get into the area and score, or at least take a shot on goal.
Played wide to Makita Williams. Jovan Jones. Just get the sense that Trinidad and Tobago are slowly working their way into this match a little bit more. They're not under as much pressure the last 4 to 5 minutes here. Highland over to Cyrus.
This game is definitely settled in the last 5 minutes for Trinidad. Yep, that's for sure. Highland is getting more touches.
The toe with the long ball to nowhere.
And the back line for Trinidad is playing without much composure. They do not look like they are poised when they have the ball on their feet. They're not very comfortable when they have the ball at their feet.
There's some wrestling going on, as you saw Hamilton Lopez tearing down Kenwyne Jones. This is Hernandez being marked by Cyrus. Well, that's deflected, but it's picked up in a pretty decent position. Papa plays it away. Tinoco hasn't had too many touches. Makita Williams plays it away to the left side, and it's Jovan Jones cutting in for it. Now, what can they mount here? Looking wide, knocked away by Hernandez.
Good opportunity there by Trinidad. Right thought process by Jones. Guatemala, especially Hernandez in that situation, tracking back, doing well to cut it out before Kenwyne Jones could get to it. Or at least it could get to the ball, could get to Kenwyne Jones.
Contact there. And Cummings, Cameron Cummings gets hit. It's a little bit late for sure, no doubt, I think, on the replay there.
That should have been a card as well. No cards yet. I haven't seen any cards, but that should have been a card on Contreras. He came in late, came in low. Looked like the studs were up as well, two-footed. Should have been a card against Guatemala against Contreras. For the most part, there hasn't been too many rash challenges in this game that the referee Bordeaux of Canada has had to deal with.
This is Kaleem Highland. Plays for Westerlo in Belgium. Typically, always some players in the modern era of the game playing all over the world, really, and he's one of them. That's a long plane ride. But look at Sheldon Bateau playing in Russia for Krylia Sovetov in the Russian Premier League. And players from Slovakia represented in this match. That's just the nature of the professional life of a footballer. There's the replay.
Ooh, I don't know if that ball went out. I don't know if that ball totally went over the line. And that replay didn't look like it to me. I think Papa will be a little upset that he didn't get a chance because he was able to get past his defender. It looked like he had a lot of green with very with no one between him and the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he just loved to get that left foot behind something. Marco Papa, good on set pieces and scored some really fantastic goals in Major League Soccer. Chicago Fire now with the Seattle Sounders. Played back nicely by Tinoco. And his touch that time, not there. Comes to Bocco. Andre Bocco.
And Guatemala's pressing that we saw in the first 10 minutes, especially the defensive players, has eased up.
Now, this is Jones on the turn, and it's deflected back to Mota. Mentioned Andre Bocco stepping the ball, confident, and he's part of the reason I think Trinidad and Tobago get a little bit more settled here.
Yeah, definitely. He's
number 14.
He's seeing more of the ball. He's also doing well in front of that back line, maybe protecting them a little bit. As we've seen that back line, when they've had the ball at their feet, they've looked a little shaky.
Now the pressure from Tinoco.
It's good to
the ball was out.
Good to have your defensive midfielder and Bocco get the ball, settle the nerves, and then start an attack, start building the attack going forward. Trinidad, we've seen they could put together 7, 8 passes. It's just that when they get to that final third, they're trying to link up with Kenwin Jones, and it's just not working out.
Right side now from Hamilton Lopez. Papa spinning it. Oh, that's a good ball. Very nice ball at the far post. Ruiz maybe a step off on the pace here, but he waited well.
Yep, well done by Ruiz. He was kept on sides by Abu Bakr, and you can see also that Cyrus completely lost him in terms of the marking, and that's the one player you do not lose in the penalty area if you are the Trinidad defense. It's Carlos Ruiz. You have to be on his hip at all times, and Cyrus lost the marker there, and he was very lucky that couldn't get enough of it on his head in order to test Williams in goal. But you got to do it better, G. That's one person you cannot leave unmarked or give any kind of space in the penalty area.
Contreras full of energy in this first half, but it's played by Cyrus, now knocked back by Tinoco. Over to Cummings. Williams. Gilden Cummings can't hold on to it. And again, there's that fairly high pressure in the midfield. This time, Freddie Thompson, the veteran, is on top of Cummings.
And it's well done there in the midfield. Contreras, you've seen him get physical with some of the Trinidadian midfielders. Did a good job there. Seen Chinconta even pinch in a little bit to try to win back the ball. I think Guatemala senses that, especially the holding midfielders, the back line, they don't quite have that composure on the ball, and that they could be dispossessed pretty easily. Maybe a handball there.
Well, it looked like Thompson. He was late as well on the ankle, but again, that's the replay. Well, aside from maybe 1 or 2 chances for Trinidad and Tobago, Paulo Mota hasn't had too much to do. This is Marco Papa, really delivered a nice ball to Ruiz just a few minutes ago. Tight defending on the return pass from Pelletier.
And Pelletier had to commit the foul there on Chincota because the pass by Papa was excellent. Chincota was making the run. He had him beat. And so Pelletier had to make the foul. He was lucky he didn't get a yellow card there because it appeared that it came from behind.
Well, in this sense, this match so far, absolutely according to Stephen Hart's expectations. More on that in a second. Here's the throw, nodded down by Tinoco. Blasted away by Abu Bakr. Throw by Hamilton Lopez. Papa. Again, that's a good ball. It's well defended that time by Bateau. Respect to Stephen Hart, he talked about that last meeting between the two countries at the Gold Cup. It was 3 first-half goals. Bateau, Cato, and Jones. So this is not a script going anything like that, unfortunately, for soccer warrior fans so far.
Yeah, I think Trinidad, their coach, Stephen Hart, has wanted them to be a little more conservative in this game.
Jones. Cummings. Over to Boko.
And Jovan Jones, who was at the right back on the right wing, he's wearing a number 3 for Trinidad. He was almost unmarked. You got to see him move without the ball in order to free up some space.
Now this is decent by Trinidad and Tobago. This is Cyrus, marked by Thompson. And again, it just wasn't enough quality on that pass, and it's taken away by Chinkota.
Yep. But also, we saw that when Cyrus was moving in, Pelletier was just standing there. He's got to move into some kind of space and maybe help Cyrus connect with Kenwin Jones, being that middleman. He was just kind of standing there waiting for Cyrus to make a move, to do something.
Papa again delivering, and again it's quality, and Ruiz says it's deflected. Well, how many times have we seen that? This time from the near side.
Everybody's ball watching. Everyone is ball watching. And then look at the defender on the far end there. It appears to be Mikael Williams. He slows up. He has to be tight on Pescadito Ruiz. Everybody's ball watching. He's got to get on Ruiz and mark him if everyone else is just watching the ball. You see him slowing down as Pescadito Ruiz is accelerating toward the ball. He can't do that. He's got to be tighter on Ruiz, especially with the rest of the defense ball watching and not looking around to see where Ruiz is. It's poor marking by that Trinidad defense, especially Williams, who he saw Ruiz. Ruiz is in front of him. He's got to get on top of Ruiz to prevent Ruiz from even getting to the far post and having a shot at that service.
Well, another fine ball by Marco Papa. And you have to wonder, Trinidad and Tobago have escaped a little bit on a couple of those plays.
Yeah.
Very close to Ruiz getting on the end of them.
Absolutely. Ruiz is taking advantage. We mentioned his guile, but he's also taking advantage of some poor marking and the fact that he is slipping past the Trinidad defenders who are not paying attention to him at all. It appears that they're not paying attention to him at all. They are giving him space. They're allowing him to move freely in the area without any physical, I guess, confrontation, if you will, without giving him any kind of presence, letting him know that they are there on his hip. And that cannot continue if they want to even get a point out of this game.
Very few stoppages so far in this first half of play, so we would expect maybe a minute, maybe 2 added. Played by Hamilton Lopez. Tricky bounce. Tinoco gets the turn in, and that's a decent effort for him. Nobody there. Brought down by Papa. Now it's Papa. He's got a beautiful touch of that left foot. Rolled back from Ruiz. And again, didn't quite work out. Defending coming through at the last moment there for TNT. Played quickly by Cummings.
Well, that was a great chance for Trinidad and Tobago to break out there. Kenwin Jones able to win the ball in the midfield circle. Made the right pass, and then the play out wide was just the ball was too long.
Papa upset that he couldn't reach that. That was a great idea. Well, no controversy so far. Nothing for the referee to be discussing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a couple of tackles could have been yellow cards, but for the most part, it's been a pretty clean game. Nothing overly controversial so far, but I think Stephen Hart has to be very concerned with the way his defense has been marking, especially the way Carlos Ruiz has been able to.
Now that Cummings on the turn gets fouled.
The way Pescadito Ruiz has been able to roam the penalty area without anyone marking, anyone getting a body on him, that's going to be something that was worrisome for Stephen Hart in the second half, especially.
Well, last matches out for Trinidad and Tobago was a 0-0 draw against Nicaragua in a friendly, and it was 1-1 for Guatemala against Haiti as they got set for this fourth round.
And Carlos Ruiz is winning the psychological battle against the Trinidad players. Look what he does there. Kind of sticks his leg out there. And then Highland pushes him. Both of them go down. The referee talks to Highland, doesn't talk to Ruiz.
Well,
that's half the battle right there.
Ruiz, the veteran who studied human behavior, I think, as part of his career. He knows exactly how to set this up.
He's been
and
doing
it really is. It's almost an art form.
Yes, definitely. He's probably been doing it for 20 years, so he's a master.
Straight into the face. It looked like, was that Papa who took that? No, it was Contreras. Guatemala, as we mentioned, they had a bye to the second round of the qualification process. They beat Bermuda 1-0 on aggregate, as you see, 1 minute of extra time. And then they beat Antigua and Barbuda 2-1 on aggregate to get to this point. And again, Trinidad and Tobago receiving the bye to this fourth round of play. So it's their initial appearance in the qualification process. Papa. Contreras looking for Tinoco, and flag goes up after the touch. Offside.
That's something second half Trinidad is going to have to tighten that up for sure. Tinoco just offsides. Yep, you can see it there. They definitely have to tighten that up in the second half. Trinidad's marking of Tinoco and Carlos Ruiz.
And so that will do it. So it is 0-0 at the break. Guatemala, Trinidad and Tobago, CONCACAF fourth round World Cup qualifying from Guatemala City, Mateo Flores Stadium. We'll be back with highlights and stats and much more. You're watching beIN Sports.
It's the one, right?
We forgot Dave.
Thank you. So, can the test drive be over now? Maybe head back to the dealership?
It's practically yours, but we still need your signature. The Sign Then Drive event. 0 due-it signing, 0 down, 0 deposit, and 0 first month's payment on a new Tiguan and other select Volkswagen models.
Now get data access plus unlimited talk and text to and from Mexico and the U.S. and Canada and the U.S. Included on plan starting at $45 a month after $5 auto pay credit. Cricket Wireless, something to smile about.
We are red, white, and blue. We are one nation. We are one team. We are united. The U.S. national soccer team World Cup qualifiers are here on beIN Sports.
The stars play here. Beckham, captain of Great Britain and Ireland. Zidane, captain of the rest of the world. UNICEF Match for Children, an international friendly for charity. Tomorrow on beIN Sports.
Just one football league has the 2 best players. Soon, they will be on the same playing field. And you can witness this great event on only one network. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Make way for El Clasico on beIN Sports. Only one network gives you more options in sports. beIN Sports. The best football in the world. La Liga from Spain. Serie A from Italy. Ligue 1 from France. The Capital One Cup, the Football League Championship from England. And the CONCACAF and CONMEBOL qualifiers. International fights, boxing championships. The most important tennis tournaments with the top-ranking superstars. All the adrenaline of SBK Superbike and Rallycross. The best rugby of the planet. Aviva Premiership, RBA Six Nations, and Guinness Pro 12. Cycling, major competitions in Europe, and much more. The most comprehensive coverage of international sports is beIN Sports. This halftime is brought to you by Volkswagen. Isn't it time for German engineering?
No score at the break. Guatemala, Trinidad, and Tobago here on beIN Sports. Our World Cup qualifying coverage continues. George, some early pressure by Los Chapins, but they couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, John Williams doing very well in between the sticks for Trinidad. Poor marking by the Soca Warriors. And so far, they're very lucky they haven't conceded a goal because Pescadito Ruiz has been dangerous and causing all kinds of problems for that backline in Trinidad.
Ruiz up top, Marco Papa with the deliveries, but again, no score between Guatemala and TNT so far at halftime.
Alucinante. By design. Seduciendo. By design.
Amigos y aficionados que viven la intensidad del fútbol, nos encontramos en este épico encuentro que decidirá el campeón de la liga.
Es la hora de mi telenovela favorita. Es el último capítulo.
No, suegra, es la final. Y resulta. ¿Ya le habló a su hermana?
¿Sí? Oye, ¿y tu yerno? Oh, es un bueno para nada.
Teletransporta a tu suegra sin fin ni cargos escondidos. Ve a tu tienda favorita y obtén $1 gratis en llamadas. Buzz Revolution, une tus mundos.
Mexico, the giant of the CONCACAF, makes its debut on beIN Sports. A new era towards Russia 2018. Under the manager Juan Carlos Osorio, El Tri confronts the process with all of its most famous stars on the pitch. Now the challenge is Honduras. Tuesday, Honduras, Mexico, on beIN Sports.
Did you miss a game? No problem. Monday Night Soccer is back. With the highlights of the most important games of the week. Every Monday on beIN Sports.
The Serie A is on beIN Sports. In a match between two top-level historic clubs. Juventus versus Milan. November 21st on beIN Sports.
Why do we root for our teams? From Barcelona to La Roma, from the United States to Colombia, we find ourselves deeply invested in the outcome of our teams. It's this regional obsession with a collective mood depending on our team's success and its failures. If they're doing well, it reflects on us in terms of bragging rights, status, prestige, and identity. If they're doing bad, it hurts the heart like nothing else. We identify with our teams in ways that players do not. Athletes can be mercenaries, but the fan can be permanent. This is why we root for our teams. That's why we're fans.
The Estadio Mateo Flores in Guatemala City, the scene at halftime. No score between Guatemala and Trinidad and Tobago. Some good opportunities for the home side as you look at one here, but in the end, Trinidad and Tobago were up to the challenge defensively. We'll see what happens in the second half of play. More to come. Guatemala, Trinidad and Tobago here on BN Sports.
Hey, what's up, Troy? Okay, that it?
That'll do it.
Excuse me.
Hey, man.
Huge fan, man.
Oh, thank you.
All the touchdowns and the wins and
Yeah, you know, I don't like to dwell on the past, but thank you.
Yeah.
Aikman touchdown, unbelievable. Aikman touchdown, unbelievable. Aikman touchdown,
I dwell on the past.
I would too.
I don't blame you.
Okay.
As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
Growing up in Kenya, my sister and I were very close. But like any sisters, we fought a lot. She always got new clothes, and I always got hand-me-downs. Now she's putting her children through school in Kenya. We still fight sometimes, especially when I send money for the kids. I tell her, buy some clothes for the younger one, and we both laugh.
With nearly 500,000 locations, our app and online, this is moving money for better.
The stars play here. Beckham, captain of Great Britain and Ireland. Zidane, captain of the rest of the world. UNICEF Match for Children, an international friendly for charity. Tomorrow on BN Sports.
It is the competition that paralyzes the entire country from